In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 1910 Paris flood. During the month of January, the Seine River is often high due to heavy rains for 2 months. The 1910 floods were a result of many different meteorological events along with geographical location of Paris and the reaction of soils. Although the feature is somewhat seasonal, the winter was quite heavy in rainfall as well as significant snowfall and rains that hit all of Europe in the fall of 1910. The Seine River of France, after the Loire, is the longest. It rises 18 miles northwest of Dijon and flows in a northwesterly direction through Paris before emptying into the English Channel at Le Havre. The river is 485 miles long, with its tributaries draining an area of about 30,400 square miles. It is one of Europe's great historic rivers, and its drainage network carries most of the French inland waterway traffic. The Seine, especially below Paris, is a great traffic highway. It links Paris with the sea and the huge maritime port of Le Havre. Rouen, although some 75 miles from the sea, was France's main seaport in the 16th century, but it was surpassed by Le Havre in the 19th century. The average flow at Paris is about 10,000 cubic feet per second, as compared with the 1910 flood rate, which was about 83,000 feet. 83,000 and the 1947 and 1949 minimums of about 700. The flood was recorded at 8.62 meters. The floods impacted the areas of the Seine, the quays, and the streets up until the Saint Lazare train station. Some prestigious sites located along the Seine, such as Petit Palais and the Louvre, were affected by rising waters. The frequency and magnitude of floods get higher during the fall and winter seasons because of two railroad tracks that were built along the Seine. Easy roads to accelerate the flood affected 12 arrondissements and several hundred streets. Some prestigious sites located near the Seine, such as Petit Palais and the Louvre, were affected by rising waters. During the flood, the factories, the stations, and the cables supplying the electricity were drowned, and the current was cut even in the non-flooded arrondissements. The metro, the sewer pipes participated in the propagation of water. These two technological advances turned against the city, a victim of its modernity. However, the halls were not reached by the waters, and Paris knew more difficulties of routing than real flood shortage, even if the goods stored in the 22,000 flooded cellars were often damaged. The rise of waters also interrupted commercial traffic of the first fluvial harbor of France, immobilizing the barges in Paris and in the suburbs. The Seine was indeed, at the time, a vital route for the supply of the capital. Since floods were a common occurrence in France, the citizens of Paris didn't think much of it. But when the Seine River levels were a bit higher than normal, they started to panic. Over the course of a week, many Parisians evacuated their homes when water infiltrated the buildings and streets of the city. Refugees took shelter in churches, schools, government buildings. The mode of transport shifted to boating as most of the streets were flooded. The risk of a heavy flood like this one in 1910 was greatly reduced by protective structures, including dams built upstream and the river development starting in the 1920s. Then in the 1950s up until the early 1990s. Here are the sources that I've used to get information for this video. Thanks for watching.